Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. I'm very honored to be a part of this. And as I look around this room, I think about the incredible talent and potential that's here in our city. And we have set forth a challenge that within the next 10 years, we will no longer talk about the gaps that exist in our city, because we will be the first in the whole country to close those gaps around economics, around education, and making sure that every single person, no matter what zip code they live in, where they were born in this city, has access to the greatest things that are available here in this city. Can we get an amen somewhere? Amen. We can do this, and we're on the way to doing it. Despite what you sometimes see on television or read in the paper, Omaha in the last few years is making some incredible advances, and it's not just the Empowerment Network. It's literally hundreds of organizations and institutions and businesses and thousands of people that are working together to make a tangible change. But I want to go back a minute to what inspires us, because this is about passion and it's about getting things done. Years ago, on a school bus in Mississippi, I remember on this raggedy bus that barely ever got to school. On one side of the highway were shotgun houses, raggedy on top of bricks that could barely stand. And on the other side of that school bus, on the other side of the street, were mansions, literally plantation houses. And I remember at the age of 7 wondering, is this the way that God intended for this to happen? And as fast forward as I went to school, and then I went into the media industry, as I traveled across the country, New York, Chicago, LA, Seattle, I saw the same exact thing. Whether it was a river, a stream, a railroad, it separated us by either race, by income, and it just seemed to me that that's not the way we're supposed to live. Fast forward to Omaha, Nebraska in 2000. I'm recruited here, I identify the opportunities, the great schools that are here, and all the other things, but then I began to dig a little bit deeper and realize that not every single person in our community is offered those exact same opportunities in the exact same way. So how can we make that? So we sat down and said, you know what, one individual, one organization, one business is not going to solve this by themselves. What if we didn't have any fancy words, we just asked ourselves a question. If we get into a room and put our minds to this as entrepreneurs, as educators, as violence prevention specialists, as parents, as students, as former gang members, single mothers, I don't care what you call them, if we put ourselves in a room and use business principles, leading change by Cotter, Harvard Business Review, leading change, a sense of urgency, building a great team, cross-functional marketing that was talked about, telling our story in a compelling way. What can we do? Can we move the dial? Not just onesie twosies, not individual, not anecdotal, but can we move the dial? And I'm here to tell you that what's happening in Omaha, we now have 20, 25 cities that are coming here to understand and better diagnose what exactly is going on. The core principles that we reinforce at the Empowerment Network, number one is personal responsibility. We do not jump past, before we ask the governor, the mayor, or anybody else for anything, what is it that we're doing ourselves? My friend George Fraser says it this way. We have a lot of PhDs, and it's great that we're here on a college university. We love PhDs. But what we need in America right now are PhDs. PhDs. Somebody that will get up and do something. After the brainstorming, after the design, let's get to work and go make it happen. We need more PhDs in Omaha and across this country. The second thing is leadership engagement. I look around at these business executives, entrepreneurs, CEOs that are in this room, the mayor and others that are a part of this collaboration. Everybody must get to a point where that sense of urgency says it is fully unacceptable for only 49% of our African-American young boys to be graduating from high school in 2006. It's fully unacceptable for gun violence to be going to an all-time high in 2008. What do we need to do collectively to change the dynamics in our city? As a leader, we must be engaged. At the end of the day, the last piece is comprehensive collaboration. As I mentioned before, it's not one individual, it's not one organization that's going to change this, but if we put our heads into a room, we drop the egos, we drop the titles, and we say that this will be the best city in the world. We have the intellectual capacity, we have the social capital, we have the cultural capital, we have the financial capital. We can make this happen. So at the end of the day, my challenge to you, within the corporate environment, the business environment, nonprofit, faith-based environment. Our challenge is personal responsibility, everybody doing their part. The second part is a leader. You must be engaged. No matter what part of town you live in, no matter what organization you're a part of, it has to be unacceptable, some of the things that happen in our city, and we can be a part working collectively of changing this dynamic. I leave you with this. Our job is that at every level within your organization, every level in your institution, every level in our community, those that are most impacted by change need to be a part of that change. They need to be a part of the brainstorming. They need to be a part of the design of the strategy, a part of the implementation of the strategy, and finally, a part of evaluating whether or not that strategy worked. And just what I've heard at Blue Cross Blue Shield and the storytelling, when you get those salespeople, the customers, those most impacted, actively engaged in the solution, you will have the best solution regardless. I'm telling you, I've seen it work in the corporate environment, I've seen it work in the faith environment, and I'm seeing it happen in Omaha. The end of the story, our graduation rate for African American young men in this city has gone from 49% to nearly 70%. We're on our way to 90%. The gun violence rate, which was at an all-time high back in 2007, 2008, in North Omaha, despite what you see on television, it is down 47% in Northeast Omaha, the gun violence rate. Citywide, it's down 33%. And the last piece that I want to tell you is that we started with at my kitchen table 7 years ago, my wife and I saying, can we make a difference? Can we make a measurable difference? And I can tell you, after conversations with my wife through prayer and collaboration, we now have over 500 organizations that we're partnering with, including the superintendent and the school district, including the chief of police, including working with the mayor and the city council, including working with the planning department. And we're on the path. We have launched a new initiative called Transformation Initiative, and in 10 years, we will close these gaps for all in Omaha. Thank you for your time.